Hello and welcome to Friends with Fins. I'm your host, Jaclyn Friedlander, and today we are going to be learning all about sunscreen. Ow, 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 ow. Not only does this hurt, this can actually cause permanent long-term skin damage. I know I've turned lobster red from standing in the sun because the sun emits what's called ultraviolet radiation. Ultraviolet radiation, also known as ultraviolet light, a part of the light spectrum that is beyond the scope of human vision, falling between violet rays and X-rays. Scientists estimate that the equivalent of between 25 and 60 million bottles of sunscreen wash off snorkelers into the reef environment every single year. So how do we protect our skin and the reef environment? Let's visit the Tropical Seas lab and factory and learn more about sunscreen formulations. I am here with Dan Knorr, and he is going to be the mad scientist. I'm going to be the lab assistant, and we are going to do some science experiments.
We're going to do a siltation experiment.
Siltation, a process by which water becomes dirty as a result of fine mineral particles in the water.
These are national brands, but we don't want to tell anybody the identity, and this one's reef safe. So we're going to take the 1 gram and then put it into each one of the beakers in front of it, which is artificial seawater, and mix it in really good.
I'm making a way bigger mess than you are.
That's okay. Sometimes you got to take your flat end and squish it.
Squish it?
Squish it against the side.
Ew. That one you can tell is even thicker and has that yucky, slathery consistency.
Yeah, that means it wasn't a very good formula.
Right.
We're going to take the one here, which is the zinc titanium dioxide mixture.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have you pour it into this larger beaker of seawater and mix it in well. And you can see that we still had some stuck in the beaker.
Oh yeah,
so
there's still some lotion.
yeah, so we'll try and get that out in there. So we kind of want to do all of them as equal as we can.
To make sure that the science is accurate and fair across the board.
Fair across the board. You can see where this one is going down. And I don't know too many little kids that love sticky white stuff on their skin.
No, I don't, even as an adult, I don't like it.
After sitting for a while, this is what these products will look like. So the ocean is much larger, so you'll have more dilution. But still, if you start with this, it's going to take more water volume to dilute it down to where it's minuscule. And you can see with the Reef Safe, there's a little bit of siltation on the bottom, but that's going to biodegrade over time, whereas the zinc and titanium won't. You got to think you're actually rubbing these products on your skin.
Right.
And since zinc and titanium are neither water or oil soluble, they're just kind of laying there. So that means when a wave hits you or you're swimming, that motion is going to tend to knock that chemical off.
So what makes Land Shark special?
We formulated Land Shark to stay on your skin, trap the zinc and titanium so it doesn't harm the sea life. So what we did is we preloaded a stainless steel spatula with the Sunkist on it to show a demonstration of how Land Shark stays stuck on your skin. And I want to know, at the end of this, if you can swim as fast as this can.
Okay, let's see.
You ready?
I'm a pretty fast swimmer.
Okay, so we'll start off slow. I'm sure you can go that fast.
Definitely.
Okay, we're going to speed it up.
Maybe if I have my fins on. That's crazy fast.
Okay, so...
It's making a little water tornado.
Yeah. So that was pretty quick, as you can see.
Oh yeah, it's still there.
There's little air bubbles formed on it,
Right.
but there is no land shark floating off of the spatula.
How does the sunscreen get in the bottle?
Would you like to take a factory tour?
Let's go on a factory tour.
We are at the factory's water system.
That's a great place to start because 70% of the earth is covered in water.
Exactly. And water is a chemical, and it's a majority of our ingredients. So we have to have pristine quality water. If you start with good ingredients, you end up with a good quality product. This is our silver impregnated carbon filter. The silver in the carbon acts as a bacteriostat to kill any bacteria coming in from the city water. From there, it moves into our water softener, to make the water softer. Goes through a filter into our RO system, reverse osmosis.
Reverse osmosis, or RO. A water treatment process that removes contaminants from water by using pressure to force water molecules through a semi-permeable membrane. During this process, the contaminants are filtered out and flushed away, leaving clean water.
And then from there, it goes through a 0.2 micron filter that catches any dead bacteria that was left over. And then as an added safety measure, we treat it with UV light, which kills the bacteria.
Okay.
From there, it goes over to our storage tank.
Do you know how much water is stored in this tank?
There's 1,500 gallons in there, and it's outfitted with a switch, a low and high sensor, that when we use RO water, it automatically kicks the whole electronic system back on to make more, so we always keep our tank full.
It's fascinating. So it's not just water, like you turn on the tap and there's water. It goes through a whole process. I see all these big tanks. Is this where the water goes?
The water comes from the RO holding tank upstairs, in through the mixed bed deionizer, in through another ultraviolet sterilizer. Then it goes into the kettles, and then it begins the batching process. These are all stainless steel. They are all double jacketed with steam. All of the piping and everything goes to our boiler, which is in an explosion-proof room. That generates a steam that gently heats the chemicals.
About how long does it take a batch of sunscreen to finish?
It's about a 3.5 hour process.
You actually test the sunscreen before it goes to market?
Yes. When they're done with the batch, they pull a retain sample and bring it up to the laboratory, where we have an ultraviolet spectrophotometer that we verify the SPF. So when people reorder our sunscreen, it's always the same. And then it goes into our production room.
Let's do it. Why did you give me this nifty fashion hat?
Well, because you have hair, and we want to protect the products from getting hair on them. So this is our main Reef Safe 4-ounce line. We have different lines for different products. This line will run 18,000 4-ounce Reef Safe bottles in 7 hours with 3 people because it's highly automated. This is our label machine that applies the stickers to either side of the bottle.
Love stickers. So you're telling me this is like a sticker shooter?
Yes, it shoots them out.
Where do you keep all the stickers?
We have a special room for that. The other line where we're running a burn cooler today is a slightly different line. It still has the automatic filler, but then instead of a cap, we're putting a pump that you pump by hand. We have a technician that applies the pump on it, then it goes through a tightener where it automatically tightens it up, then it gets coated and then packed out.
Well, thank you so much for the tour, Dan. I learned a ton about sunscreen.
You're welcome. We loved having you.
If you're going to be using sunscreen, you want to make sure you put it on correctly. You're actually supposed to put on sunscreen 20 minutes before going outside to play so that it has time to dry and stick to your skin. Besides using sunscreen that's certified safe for coral, you want to minimize the amount of chemicals you're putting on your skin. So when I'm going to be in the sun for a long time, I wear a floppy hat and a shirt that's treated with UPF, or ultraviolet protection factor coating. Ultraviolet protection factor, a numerical rating given to clothing to indicate how effective the fabric is at blocking ultraviolet radiation. The ultraviolet protection factor, UPF, is comparable to the sun protection factor, or SPF, of sunscreen. That means that if I'm wearing a shirt with a UPF rating of 50, only 1/50th of the sun's harmful rays are getting through to my skin. Then I only have to put sunscreen on my face, the back of my hands, my neck, anything that's still exposed to the sun, plus I get to wear a super cute shirt that says Marine Life Matters, which it totally does. What a fun day learning about sunscreen. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below, give this video a like, and please subscribe to this channel. See you next time on Friends with Fins. Thanks for watching.